Hello and welcome to Dragon Tavern with myself, Oliver Dungeon Master, and
Dave.
we would like...
He resists calling me the player.
I don't know where it came from, but I started doing it on NPCs of Tal'Dorei.
And it just kept
And
going.
it went for a long time. Anyway, this episode of Dragon Tavern is talking about Critical Role Vox Machina Origins, the comic book that's recently been released all across the cybersphere. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about it kind of generically at first, about the artwork and that kind of stuff. Then we're going to put a big flashing sign, or some kind of sign.
There'll be a sign. I'll be editing it. Maybe it'll be down here. I don't know where yet.
It's going to say spoilers. So once you see that, if you haven't read the comic, that's when you tune out.
And we will give a bit of a bridge there because we understand not everyone's read it, and everyone should read it just to support it, and hopefully the comic books can continue. But yeah, just be aware we're going to talk very generalizations. Then we'll jump into it.
Yeah, so don't worry about spoilers. There'll be a big message thing that says spoiler alert.
Yes,
when we get to that.
So yeah, this comic book came out earlier this month. I can't remember the exact date, but it was written by Matt Colville, who's been a huge Critical Role fan. He has his own YouTube channel where he talks about D&D and all aspects of it. He's a huge D&D follower, and he really loves Critical Role. So it's really good to have a critter that fell in love with the program. I guess
it's a program, I suppose. It's a web series, yeah.
And is now, because he's a professional writer, he's written for a lot of video games like Evolve and Mercenaries. So it's really cool to have someone from the community jump in. Yeah. Now he wrote the majority of it, and he used Matt Mercer and Liam O'Brien to kind of just double check the dialogue and double check, things that he had written to make sure they're in par with how the characters act and so forth.
Yeah,
especially with the fourth wall breaking references, that Scanlan mostly uses. He actually went to Matt and Liam to just make sure that it kind of fits within the world without breaking that fourth wall again.
Yeah. And obviously Matt Mercer is credited as a writer as well, because hey, it's his world.
Yes.
Exandria. Yeah. So obviously he's there. So
there's a really good article on Geek and Sundry of Matt Colville just explaining his process and what he went through. That's how I learned about the Liam O'Brien and Matt thing. And so the characters themselves, the players themselves, they didn't have direct influence over the dialogue, but they got to review it. Yeah. And got to kind of, if Liam saw something that didn't fit right, but he didn't know what they would say, he would go to the players and actually get that dialogue.
So yeah, I think they really wanted to do this in a way that was true to the story and the characters, and honestly, I think they did.
Yeah, I think they did, and also it was done in a way that you don't have to know about Critical Role to enjoy it.
Yeah, true.
You can definitely come from like a blank slate and really enjoy the mystery, because there's mystery in this. There's good banter. Yeah. There's good character introductions and everything.
Basically, if you're a critter and you want to get some of your friends into Vox Machina to pull them into the web, the critter community, this is a great way of kind of bridging that. You can show them the comic book and say, oh, by the way, you could come around to my place and tune in this week.
Yeah. Just so you're aware where we come from in terms of comic book reading. I'm a huge comic book collector. I've got over 200, 300 just comic books, mainly Ninja Turtle comic books.
I've seen his collection,
but I've got a lot of volumes, and I think Joker is one of my favourite graphic novels out there. If you haven't read it, you should read it. But where do you come from in terms of comic book writing? Reading.
The first comic I ever read, and it's actually behind you, is Johnny the Homicidal Maniac, director's cut by Jean Vasquez, who also did Invader Zim. But
where is it?
Okay, so if you turn to your left, underneath my alarm clock, there's all my manga, and at the very bottom, that is
so manga.
Well, no, John the Homicidal Maniac is a graphic novel by John Vasquez, who also does Invader Zim, which you might have seen.
No.
I'm actually trying to get the complete collection of his, so I've got all the John the Homicidal Maniac, all the Squee, 2 Eiffel 6, and some other ones as well.
Have you read any Marvel or DC and stuff like that?
Interestingly, I'm just getting into that now. He has shown me the wonderful app Comixology, which is where I downloaded and read the Vox Machina comic.
And that's where we're going to leave a link down below.
It's a really good app
to actually buy this, because we do encourage you. Even though this is a review and we will be going to spoilers of explaining what happened, definitely go support it and go read it, because I think the art and the dialogue, we won't be able to do it justice at all.
Yeah, so definitely go check it out. It is really wonderful. And of course, I'm a big manga fan. I have a collection of manga behind me. Dave is currently blocking it, but yeah.
You can see it in some of our other videos.
Battle Royales and zombie powders and a bit of Death Notes and Ghosts and Red String, a whole lot of stuff. So that's where I come from.
Yeah, sweet.
I love the medium.
Yeah, I love it. I think comic book writing and storytelling is really on par with D&D. It's just the fact of it can show so much, but you don't need to blow out your budget to actually show that.
One thing I wanted to talk about the Vox Machina comic was the personality of the characters through mainly the artwork and such was, I think, so key, so on point. I think you really got a sense of the characters' sometimes naivety or seriousness or sarcasm or bitterness.
And it also leaves enough character growth for what we know them as now.
Yeah.
Because we'll go into which exact characters we're referring to, but they really show what they were before Vox Machina and what they end up being, the world savers kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it was also the artist was Olivia Sampson. We're going to leave all the links down in the doobly-doo if you understand that reference. You've watched a lot of Matt Colville. So we're going to leave all the links to all the artists and everyone that's contributed towards the comic, just so you can go support them. Because I mean, we want this to be a success. We want more of this because it'd be awesome to see. Also, if this continues, if this run does very, very well, and they go into more of the games and so forth in the stream. We can get a really good sense of how a D&D game is actually converted into an actual comic book. Because some battles last for a very long time, but in a comic book, they're not.
Yeah,
it's really condensed. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, I'd love to see. I mean, I'm now hanging out for the next the next episode. I'm waiting for that to go online so I can keep reading.
Yeah, it comes out I think on a monthly basis.
Okay.
So the next one will come out probably this month. It's October now.
Yeah.
It's October. So yeah, go support it. Also, Chris Northorpe and Travis Imura. We're terrible pronouncing
really
names. But yeah, they did the cut. So the colorist Chris Northorpe and Travis Imura, we're really terrible at pronouncing names.
Yeah, we're from New Zealand, and if you ever tried to dissect the New Zealand accent, it's just basically English and American, but butchered.
Yeah, okay. But as I said, all the links will be down below of their stuff, so go support them and all that. So just in general, did you like it?
I loved it. In fact, the thing you're talking about, the colorists, the colours were fantastic. If you want to know...
It's a good palette.
Yeah, if you want to know the colours of the palette, I'm actually wearing them on my head. It was lots of blues and greens.
Taliesin shaved his head now.
Oh, what? I dyed my hair to be like Taliesin.
I know, he just shaved his head. I just watched the recent Wednesday Club.
Come on, Taliesin. I can't shave my head. My hair is my best feature.
I shook my head. That was a supportive.
Anyway, the comic was fantastic. Should we get into the spoiler territory now?
I'll just say my opinion on it.
Sure.
Unless you think your opinion's enough. Sorry, I just had to shame you there because you're just like, I've seen my piece. Let's move on. But yeah, I really liked it as a regular comic book reader. I really
comic aficionado.
I wouldn't call myself that, but I really enjoyed the introduction. There was enough mystery there to make you want to read the next one. I think they introduced the characters and showed the banter very, very well. And just the colours and the intrigue of it, they did a very, very good job. And I was very impressed. I thought, I didn't expect a really amazing job because a lot of conversions like this, when they do like web series, like The Guild is another comic book. I didn't really enjoy that much, but this one I really did. I don't know whether that's because of my ties to Critical Role or because I just really enjoyed the comic book. So it was great.
One of the things I just loved was the fact that we got a sense almost immediately, this is a Dungeons and Dragons kind of world, just how they set it up. But then more importantly that, we got this very strong sense of the characters in such a way that I felt connect. I felt connect. I mean, I love Vox Machina, and through this I saw a direct kind of mirror to that same love, but in comic book form.
Exactly. All right, that's enough of us speaking very vaguely.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put up the spoiler tag. Not sure where it's not going to be there because it'll be covering your face. They have to be there the whole time. Maybe that is actually impressive. But
this is what happens when I edit the video.
It will be down somewhere. So I say once you've seen this part of the video, go read the comic book, come back, watch it, and give us your thoughts in the comments down below, because at the end of the day, it's just us two idiots talking to a camera. If it's more people involved in the discussion, we learn more. And that's what we find for NPCs.
That's what we love about NPCs. Sometimes we say,
get schooled a lot.
what was that? Yeah, what was that spell? And people are like, well, it's this.
It's just this.
And they just know, but yeah, come and engage with us, because why not?
Alright, so...
Spoiler warning.
Cool. So I think one thing that put me at ease, because I had a big fear that they weren't going to show Tiberius.
Yeah, me too.
And in the second panel of it, they show Tiberius.
Dragon, the Dragonborn sorcerer.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to deal with that in terms of if they're just going to play it true to the story, what happened, and when Matt
They will. I think they will, because Tiberius does have an end. Yeah. As we know from Critical Role, it does. We know where it's going.
Yeah.
So
essentially you start off with following Vax and Vex.
Yeah, well, we'll start off actually seeing 3 panels.
Yeah.
And I've kind of described them as where they are now, because it had all their titles.
Yeah.
Grog had the Grand Poobah kind of one.
Yeah,
and Vex had the Great Hunt.
Chosen of the Everlight for Pike.
Yeah, the Great Hunt. And then they had another panel. And so if you notice, the other panel didn't have Percy or Pike there. It didn't have those two there, because when they first initially started the game before the stream, those 2 players weren't in the game.
No, there you go.
So the first venture of Vox Machina that they actually sat down and played, those 2 characters weren't there.
Right.
They were introduced later. So that's a good kind of throwback as well, because when we're going through the Origins, we're actually meeting those characters meeting up.
Yeah.
We're not meeting Pike or Percy. They may have references, or they may change things that they did come in quite quickly.
Yeah.
But this is basically a pre-stream.
Yeah, because by the time I started on Vox Machina on Critical Role, on Geek and Sundry, Pike and Percy were there.
Yeah, and so pre-stream, they joined as those sessions went, because they went for about 2 years. So so the comic book that we're actually reading is pre that.
Well, I think
it's pre-stream.
I did not notice that actually. But I think that's brilliant. That's actually showing that they're going to stay true to the story.
Yeah, to the
which is what
was it
continuity.
That's it. Yeah. I can't say big words. But then it shows the last panel. We just see Vax and Vex, which is what this first comic book is all about.
Yeah,
and I think that's really cool to show that the story of Vox Machina kind of starts with these 2 twins.
Yeah. So essentially, we get the kind of like these are the characters panels, and then we go into the story, and we find ourselves in the forest with lots of greens and blues. Beautiful palette, kind of almost muted and pastel, almost like a drudgy dream of pastels.
And we have a mystery of a stillborn being brought to a lake and kind of sacrificed.
And we hear about the curse.
So it's very vague, very mystery. But then after the witch and the mother of the stillborn kind of leaves, Vix and Vax come out of the tree that they're hiding in just near it, and they're not like overly shocked by this, but they're kind of just like, this is the world.
Yeah.
And I think Vex shows it the most, that cynicism, and he is even called out by Vax. So that's just her personality at that point, because she does cheer up as the story goes, which I think is awesome to see that progression. And then Vax is the more cheerier one, which is quite funny. And so that's revealed through their banter, which is so good, so on point, that they are on basically a mercenary kind of call. They've been hired to try and figure out what's cursing them, what's inflicting the town of Stillburn being.
We knew that.
Yeah, we knew that. Sorry, I was just blanked on it for a second.
So essentially, we meet Vix and Vax. Now, I did love the artwork here because they look very, very similar. They are twins in the story. Obviously, the players themselves found out they had the same birthday, and so in game they decided they'd do the same thing and be twins. So the artwork of them is really beautiful. The dialogue is very kind of cynical.
Very brother and sister.
Very brother and sister. I think they captured the essence of Vax and Vex instantly. That's what was my first happy thought. Well, first saw Tiberius, was like, yes, awesome. I saw Vax and Vex interact and thought that is true to the characters, fantastic, and I was sold from there.
And it also established their classes very well as well. So in the first encounter, when they're kind of going along trying to get through the swampy kind of lake, Vax kind of falls deep in it, and Vex is like, get the hell out of there. And then this giant shark bursts out with this humanoid fish guy on it. And it really showed like Vix's tracking ability and her ranger ability, and then Vax's kind of stealth. They were just sneaking up behind it, slitting its throat, and then moving on. So I really like that. And then we bump into Keyleth.
Yeah, who appears as a little squirrel, and I think it was Vax says something along the lines, I've never seen such a personable human squirrel with such human eyes. And she wild shapes when we meet Keyleth. Now, this is when I was talking before about the personality of the characters coming through and the artistry. I think they absolutely did that wonderfully with Keyleth. You could see this awkward kind of, almost like a teenager kind of thing, like a, oh hi, and
you kind of got hints of the whole Vex and Keyleth kind of thing. Like he was a little bit smitten by her.
And foreshadowing there.
Yeah, like that. And also we've got to mention of Tiberius there as well. Not by name. She says she's got a sorcerer friend.
Yeah.
She was testing the water to see what it was poison in that, and it showed her druid ability as well, which is awesome. Going into the class thing again, it really showed what she can do.
Yeah, I was hooked after I saw Keyleth. She has this freckled face and. She's just beautiful.
They did a fantastic job of introducing it. But they don't stay with Keyleth. They kind of, awkwardly... Keyleth kind of heals Vax after his injury from the shark. And then Vix and Vax kind of just move to Stillben. And kind of go a bit deeper into the town and try and figure out... They go to the contact who hired them to try and get more information, and they get led on to an alchemist. Who he believes is the reason why all this has happened. And it was very good dialogue in between them going from the guy that paid them to the alchemist of Vax revealing how much they're getting paid for it, which is
20 gold pieces.
I think it was 13 or 14.
Something around there.
Something very low.
And
then you saw Vex's personality when it comes to that. She's not doing this for the greater good or it's the right thing to do. She's like, why are we doing this? We're not even getting paid much. And it really shows... what she was like then, and how Vax is more about doing the right thing and the honourable thing, and she's just like, I want to get paid. It's
really quite a cool opportunity to be able to see what was going on pre-stream, because you've got stories and stuff, but circulating in the cybersphere, but this is an anthology, an actual, and we know now that, the stuff that they put in, that they're remaining true to it, so it's cool to be able to see everything leading up to the stream that we know and love so well.
Yeah, it's really awesome. So they go to the alchemist, they kind of work out that he's got some secrets. Vix kind of goes in and tries to kind of get information, but fails miserably. Yeah. Must have rolled a bad charisma check.
Yeah, she essentially unbuttons her shirt and kind of, hello baby.
Yeah, but it didn't work at all. Yeah. But he, and his clothing was very kind of, posh and kind of, I love the colours on the
I love the kind of almost squarish, facial, it had nice, I don't know what the word is, but nice kind of almost sketchy outlines and stuff with very interesting angles.
And she kind of leaves, and then they realise they have to kind of track him to see who his contact was. So the alchemist kind of leaves, goes to his contact, and we see this mysterious even vampire-esque kind of woman.
We see her kind of use either minor illusion or something. She kind of steps forward, and you see her shape change a little bit.
So we don't know who that is yet. No.
But that's essentially our first hint at a boss for Vox Machina Origins.
Yeah, exactly. Some
kind of behind-the-scenes tinkerer with a bit of arcane.
So the person who the alchemist, I think he reveals that they're kind of being tracked and followed, and the evil woman, we'll call her, the evil woman. She goes, well, you're doing the right thing then. You're getting the townspeople to try and hire people to stop this. Yeah. So that means our plan is working, because he's revealed a lot of people are leaving the town, because he essentially wants to take part of it. He wants to own a part of that town and get a district. And then we flash back to Vix and Vax kind of following and seeing the guy leave, and then they get hit with assassins.
Some arrows from a rooftop, and remember these are level 1 characters, if we're talking terms of D&D.
I don't know if they start at level 1.
Really? I thought they started at level 1.
I don't think they did. Maybe they did.
We'll have to
they took them out pretty well.
Yes, that's true. Vax and Vix... they're no strangers to being shot at. Yeah. That's not going to slow them down.
Well, they were strangers at this point, because they've only just left. Yeah. So they get attacked, and they easily kind of just get rid of the guys with good headshots and everything. It was really good.
But that essentially hints to them that someone's on our tail. We're in danger.
What do? Yeah. We can't go back. We can't go back to the alchemist, because it's either going to be empty or there's going to be more assassins.
Yeah.
What do we do? And then Vax goes, well, the druid?
Yeah.
And that's where we end.
That's it. it. That's the whole story of episode 1. God, I can't wait for the second one.
Yeah.
And I think at some point down the line, in the next couple of months, I'm going to have to buy them in a hard copy.
Well, they are going to be only released as a hard copy because everything, all the issues here are all digital releases.
Yeah.
Which is, for a collector, kind of sucks. So
Yeah.
I'd love to have it and pin it on my wall. But I think it's going to release on monthly, so it's going to be 6 months. So we'll probably be at next year.
Yeah.
I think it'll start probably March, April, maybe next year.
Definitely looking forward to that.
And we've got to review every episode because we love talking about it.
Yeah.
And going into it. And my theory is that we're going to obviously meet Keyleth again, but we're also going to meet Tiberius.
Okay.
Because
he's been mentioned and none of the others have.
Yeah, exactly. Well, she's mentioned that her sorcerer friend knows something about this.
Yeah.
And she's gone there to test the waters, so it makes sense once she's tested the waters to go back to the sorcerer friend, which is Tiberius.
So, I mean, it was great artwork. They stayed true to the characters, which was my greatest fear going into this. We get to see an anthology, a record of what Vox Machina had done up to this stream that we love. Which is just wonderful. I can't wait to experience more of this world, and it's great if you're at the Comicsology app. You can just read this in the doctor's waiting rooms or bus stops and stuff. It's just, swipe left kind of thing.
So what's your theories of who we're going to see? Because I've got my suspicions now that we probably won't see Percy or Pike until right at the end.
Well, see, what I'm really looking forward to is, because it's the main story point that I always wanted to see, where Pike saves Grog. Because there is a point we know leading up in the character descriptions of the first couple of episodes when they did character descriptions at the start. Grog mentions that he met this gnome cleric at some point who had healed him and saved him, and that's where their friendship began. Now that's probably a bit closer to the stream, so that won't not be in the next issue. But that's the greatest thing for me to find out how that happened.
My understanding that happened ages ago. Like that happened when they were a bit younger, a few years before this.
Well, I thought Grog.
I don't think it was immediate. Oh, actually, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think.
Maybe.
I'm not sure.
You may be right on that one.
I think, at some point in the story leading up to the stream, Pike saves Grog, and I've always wanted to see that. I've always wanted to know what the story behind that was, so I'm really looking forward to that. But as for who we're going to see next, I'd say Tiberius, and who's the closest out of them? Maybe.
We've got Scanlan still.
Bit of Scanlan. Oh, and it's going to be so great seeing the comic book, the love story between Scanlan and Pike, him constantly finding out to her.
Yeah, but that makes me a little bit worried that we may not see them to the end, which makes me want more, which is really good because of the sales for this so far. Apparently, Dark Horse has been blown away by it.
Oh, cool.
So that's a really, really good sign. And we could be talking about the actual campaigns of those games and then comparing them to what actually happened in the game. So it'll be cool.
It's a good time to be a critter. And the comic doesn't even cost that much. It's only a couple of bucks. So go check it out.
It's more for us because we're New Zealanders. So you got no excuse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think it's $3.99 American. For us, it's $5 to $6, depending on the exchange rate.
Yeah. So go get it, check it out, and we'll be back with the next issue of this when the next issue gets released. Yeah. And we'll do some other.
And give us your theories down below, and then we'll talk about them when the next one comes up next month.
So thanks very much for coming along with this episode of Dragon Tavern on the D20 Multiverse. I have to start prepping because we're about to live stream Black Winter Nights, and I got some serious stuff to throw at the party this time. So thanks very much, guys. D20 Multiverse signing off. Oliver, Dungeon Master, and
Dave.
Good night.
Bye.